Oh, yeah. Welcome to the WWE Raw Post Show here on the Ringside Report Network. Finn Balor is your new U.S. champion. AJ Styles answers the call from Edge for WrestleMania. And Randy Orton might be hurt. Yes, indeed. You all right?
All right. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me.
Well,
Hear what I have to say.
Hook that wire.
Oh, yeah.
We should have done this before the show started, but, you know, we'll
do it live.
We'll do it live. We're busy watching Raw. You understand. Everybody's cool here. What's up, everybody? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out Brian Firth. Shout out Ryan Katz. Shout out Angelo Catagones. Salut, Angelo. Simon Brothers in the house. We are in the house.
In your house.
And look, everything's working tonight. We had some technical difficulties Friday. I'm much happier tonight because everything's working. We're going to see the WWE in 6 days' time together, you and me and some other people in the family.
It's pretty exciting. First show of any kind that I could think of. I've been to, God, I think since the year 2019.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've been able to go to shows. I have been to a couple wrestling shows during the pandemic. I have luckily been able to go to a couple of the main event wrestling shows to see my boy Johnny North in action and Jeremy Prophet and Sexy Eddie and all the great talent over at MEW Wrestling here in Montreal. And thankfully, I was able to catch a couple of those shows in 2021. But that's pretty much all I've seen. All I see is wrestling, which is kind of nice that I'm going back. WWE coming to town, and we're going to see them on Sunday for a house show. Ronda Rousey and Naomi taking on Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. And Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title or Universal title or whatever he has. That's another announced match for Sunday's house show in Laval, home of Angelo Catagones, who just renewed his membership. Funny, I'm talking about Laval, and there's Angelo popping up. I know Angelo is from Laval, and I don't know if he'll be at the show on Sunday, but I will definitely be there, and if you see me, you can say hi. Oh, hey. Thank you, Sasha Lagarde, for renewing your membership. Don't forget to renew your membership or, become a member if you aren't a member in the first place. Join.ringsidereport.net. Click that join button beneath me. If you're a member of the team, you could call into the show at any time, be part of the show as long as you are a member of the YouTube channel here, the Ringside Report Network. And, it supports us as well. We appreciate it. And we have mad love for all of the members, and we thank you guys for supporting the Ringside Report Network and joining us here tonight on an eventful episode of Raw. Stuff happened. There's news in professional wrestling. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair has been announced for night 1 of WrestleMania. Matter of fact, a lot of the matches are starting to get days. We start to know now not only, what's going to be on the card, but of course it's a 2-night event, so we're starting to get info from the WWE as to when these matches are going to take place. According to what I have in front of me here, Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey will take place on night 1, as will Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Wikipedia is telling me, and they're usually dead on.
I don't remember seeing a graphic for them, but I figure we assumed that they'd be night 2 since Becky and Bianca's night 1. Usually they divvy it up, but
this is official here. Look at this. I'll show you here. This is official from WWE.com.
The horse's mouth.
WrestleMania, Saturday, April 2nd. So the Ronda-Charlotte match is official for night 1 of WrestleMania, which I, like you, was not aware of until I pulled up Wikipedia and they gave me all the info. Who says Wikipedia isn't reliable? It's sourced. You go to the bottom, you see the sourcing of the article, and you can find all the information you need. I love Wikipedia.
So that's interesting. So I guess
night 1 is going to have both women's title matches.
And night 2 will be Brock and Roman and nothing else.
That's it so far. The only thing that they have announced for night 2 of WrestleMania is Brock and Roman. Charlotte and Ronda, Becky and Bianca, and the Mysterios versus Miz and Logan Paul have all been announced for night 1. Edge versus AJ Styles was made official tonight, as was Queen Zelena and Carmella taking on Naomi and Sasha Banks for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, although those two matches that I mentioned, Edge and AJ, taken at that match, and the Zelena Carmella Women's Tag Title match also not given a night yet. But we do know Brock will be on night 2. There's rumors of Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee at WrestleMania, which we could talk about. Finn Balor became the new United States champion. Randy Orton possibly injured by Montez Ford in the match tonight. Dave Meltzer reporting that the Brock Roman match, albeit the fact that it is a unification match, won't mean that we'll just have one world championship after WrestleMania. They still plan to have 2 champions after Mania. The winner will be the unified champion, and then they'll probably find a way to have another champion for the Raw guy, because Roman likely wins and takes both belts to WrestleMania. They'll unify the belts. He'll be the WWE Undisputed Champion, and then they'll go over to Raw and maybe make a World Heavyweight Championship or something like that.
Just call him the Raw Champion.
I think they just get rid of the Universal title and go from WWE Champion to World Heavyweight Champion, probably. That seems the most likely scenario, which, is what I've been saying. I'm not surprised that Meltzer's reporting this, because this is what I have been saying all along. The WWE may be telling you that they're going to do a unification match at WrestleMania, but they have no intention of actually having just one champion, because they run house shows on the same night. You need a champion for the house show. At least that's the old idea from the WWE, and I think they still believe in that. I never believed that they were going to have one world champion who would appear on both shows or just on one show. Like, I never bought that whatsoever from the WWE. They could tell me unification match all they want. I never bought it. You've heard me talk about it here on the show. I told you there'd be 2 belts, and Meltzer apparently reporting with some sort of inside information that, yeah, there will be 2 belts, which, just kills the idea of a unification match between Brock and Roman at WrestleMania. But that's just not a match that I'm super pumped to see anyways. So the stipulation, it didn't add much to me, but just knowing that they're not actually going to even follow through with it, it takes away even more, right?
Mm-hmm. And, the fact that, your suspicions are proven right even before the match. It's not like you watch the Raw after Mania and they introduce a belt. You're like, oh, yeah, of course. It's weeks before, a month before, and we're like, oh, yeah, we already know this is a wet fart.
Yeah, we already know that they're lying to us before the match even takes place because of Meltzer's reporting, which, it is what it is, but that's how wrestling works these days. Yeah, that's going to be your headliner for night 2. Roman Reigns will be the unified champion, and then we'll move on from there and probably have a new champion on Raw. Speaking of Raw, it's the show that we watched tonight, which, even though stuff happened, I didn't really like the show tonight, right? It wasn't a great show. Some of the matches that should have been good underwhelmed, like the Finn Balor Damien Priest match. It just felt like their timing was off. Something was wrong there. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. And I think Raw would have been a much better show had that match been a higher level. Because when I look at this show and I say match of the night, it's easy for me. Mm-hmm. It's very easy. And I know that we haven't talked about this.
No, we didn't even ask each other before the show.
Right. But match of the night.
Say it together. 1, 2, 3. The opening
Kevin
contest.
and Freakin against
the Alpha Academy.
Yeah, Kevin and Freakin against the Alphas. That was the best match by far on the show. By far. Kevin and Seth Freakin are an excellent tag team. They open up the show, Kevin wearing an oversized cowboy hat, introduce Seth Rollins to the stage. They then go to the ring for more promo. I didn't like how they opened the show on the stage, and then they're like, all right. And then you think they're done talking. But then they just go to the ring and keep talking. Mm-hmm. It was weird. They talk about winning the tag team titles next week in a triple threat tag team match, which, could not happen because Randy might be hurt, but it's supposed to be Rated RK Bro. Rated RK Bro?
No, just RK Bro. Yeah. Edge isn't part of it.
Right. And, of course, the Alpha Academy are the tag team champions, so they are the guests on the show. They come out, and they say, Gable says, "Thank you for having us on the show," and Seth and Kevin don't like the way that Gable says thank you, and they kind of go back and forth about that. Gable says, they worked very hard, and they're going to retain their tag team titles because they want to be the ones to go to WrestleMania and defend them, not Kevin and Seth. And, of course, Kevin says, we're going to defend them, and we're going to be there in Texas. I hate Texas so much, which is also part of this gimmick, and I don't know how it all... Like, if Kevin and Seth do win the tag belts next week, for instance, how does the Texas stuff play into it?
No, it kind of makes you think that they won't because this Texas thing is like an underlying...
Unless they do, like, two Texas legends challenge them for the tag belts at Mania, like Shawn and Austin, Because if Austin's going to come back for a match, like, a tag match would probably be safer. Because he wouldn't have to be in there alone and... if something goes wrong, you can just sit on the apron and wait.
And Shawn and Austin are former tag team champions together.
Bingo.
Back in the day, they beat Owen and Bulldog, I think. So there's a bit of history there.
It's something. Yeah. It's something. I just don't
give
really...
Shawn one last match that's not too much of a car crash.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, I think Shawn Michaels, there's got to be a part of him that thinks, man, I can't have that match be my last match, because he had that match, he had his retirement match, which was amazing at WrestleMania, and then he came back and he had that tag team match, Bald Shawn teaming with Triple H against Taker and Kane in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, won the crown jewels.
Was it Saudi Arabia or was it Australia?
No, it was Saudi.
And it was horrible. It was so bad. And there's got to be a part of Shawn that wants to redeem himself and not be that match as his last, but I don't know. It's just weird because Kevin and Seth freaking seem like they're on the path toward the tag team titles, but Kevin seems to still be doing this Texas thing, and there's the rumors about Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's very strange, the whole Kevin Owens, Texas, and then does that play into the Austin stuff? How does it work? I'm not really sure how any of this is going to work. It's weird. It
could go like a multitude of ways.
Yeah. It could go also with, no Austin at all. Because, the rumors of Austin right now are just rumors. No one has confirmed that Austin is going to wrestle and this is his opponent and this is what's happened. It's WWE has reached out to Austin and they're talking and they maybe want to have him wrestle. But, I don't know if it actually happens. And the Texas stuff could be nothing. It could be Austin coming in after a Kevin Owens match and just stunning him and, on behalf of Texas. I don't know.
Waving a Texas flag or something. It could be a bunch of Texas guys.
It could be a bunch. It could be Taker,
Bradshaw, Booker T.
Yeah.
A
bunch of people.
There's a lot of big Texans. Legends.
A lot of legends from Texas that the WWE could call upon easily to fill this role with Kevin Owens, right? A lot of guys. Shawn, Taker. They don't have to involve Austin at all, but because there's the rumors of Austin coming back, because Kevin does a stunner as a finish, because Kevin's talking about Texas. I mean, not only did Kevin Owens hit the stunner, he did the double bird, double middle finger and the stunner, which he has not been doing.
That's true.
He did that tonight, and he also did a crotch chop, the DX crotch chop into a cannonball in the corner, which Shawn and Austin, you know what I mean? Was he signaling for something there? Because why did he do the suck it and then the cannonball to Otis? Why did he do that? It was weird. It was unlike anything Kevin usually does.
Unless they want to make Kevin Owens' character just a hodgepodge of late 90s gimmicks and moves.
Because he does the stunner, so throw in...
he's a creator wrestler kind of thing.
From
a
late
video
90s.
game.
He's an Attitude Era
He'll do
Mix and match.
He'll pull out Mr. Kevin Sacco.
He doesn't do a rock bottom though.
No, it's Becky's move.
Yeah.
You could do a people's elbow kind of move.
Roman did one too at the Chamber.
Oh yeah, that's
remember
right.
Roman did a rock bottom, and they called it a rock bottom. Yeah, I think The Rock probably shows up at Mania to confront Roman. I think that's what they should do. They really should, and set up Rock for Roman next year because they have to at this point. Like all this build with Roman, if they don't do Rock at WrestleMania 39, like.
Then what is it?
Yeah, like it's a complete failure, I think, on their part if they can't get Rock for next year, which I think they will. It seems like they have to. Kevin Owens and Seth Freakin over Alpha Academy, match of the night. Gable hit a German suplex on Kevin Owens. Looked like he dumped him right on his head. It was nasty.
That was beautiful.
The finish was really nice, too. Seth hits the buckle bomb on Gable. Gable bounces back into the stunner, into the curb stomp from Seth. 1, 2, 3. Kevin and Seth Freakin just beat the tag team champions in a non-title match, and they're facing them again in a triple threat with RK Bro next week. Now, that match might not happen. I don't know what the story is with Randy Orton. There's no report yet on if he's injured or how injured or what. But it looked bad tonight. Randy looked hurt. So I'm going to pull up the spot here for you guys so you can see what exactly happened. I'm pulling it up for the dozens and dozens of Ringside Report Network viewers here tonight. I'm trying to take The Rock's millions, but although when The Rock was saying the millions and millions of The Rock's fans, he was doing it like as a joke because he was a heel.
First, yeah.
Everybody hated him, and then eventually people were like, "This guy's awesome," and they were like, "Millions and millions. This isn't sing along with The Rock, jabroni." Like that was great. That was great when the fans started to like The Rock. If The Rock was still a heel, and he would like shit on them for liking it, I was like, "Shut up! This isn't sing along with The Rock." Man, he was so good. Like The Rock with hair is the best promo in the history of professional wrestling. I don't care who you're talking about.
Or even like slightly like shaved head, like Rock 2002 through 2004. There's some good The Rock in Toronto?
Nowhere. Yeah, okay, but
that's 2003.
Yeah, okay. I guess pre-Brock, pre-losing to Brock, Rock. Like as soon as he lost to Brock, he became
Hollywood
Dwayne.
Rock, but Hollywood Rock.
Hollywood Rock is nowhere near as good.
Oh, the Rock concert?
Are you kidding? Compare that to like prime Rock, like just out of the Nation of Domination. Like
it's pretty good, but
you can't touch that guy.
Movie star Rock.
No,
when he was like a heel.
Wrong.
The Rock concert. When he had all that heat in Sacramento, talking about the Lakers, got like massive boos.
Was he feuding with Cena at that point?
I was feuding with Stone Cold.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like Hollywood heel Rock, like the Rock
later on. Okay.
And like when we saw him wrestle Hogan. He was like a bad guy. He was a bad guy Hollywood heel.
That's after he lost to Brock?
Yeah, it's like he lost to Brock August of 2002 SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then like he comes back in like 2003.
Okay, he was all right.
Like,
but he wasn't as good.
He was still pretty good.
Not as electrifying.
He was pretty good.
No.
He was a heel though.
For my money, Rock with the hair, best Rock.
And
ever.
those like shirts like the tiger on it and stuff.
The cool shirts and the hair. And sometimes the little khaki shorts that he would wear, but the Rock wearing the black shirt, the black like kind of shiny shirt that he would wear, and those like Adidas pants that only had 2 lines,
pants,
the fake Adidas pants that he would wear. That Rock,
the Mick Foley kind of Rock.
Oh my God, that guy was the
corporate
best.
Rock.
Corporate Rock was the best. All right. Anyways, none of these guys on this show are anywhere near as good as that guy, The Rock. Especially not Montez Ford. This guy.
It's not my kind of guy.
This guy is green as grass. And
he may have made a career-defining mistake tonight.
Yeah, this could be it for
You don't
Montez.
botch on Randy Orton. It's not something you do.
If you can see here, Montez lands way too high on Randy. Kaboom! Way too high on Randy Orton, okay? And as soon as this happened, you could tell something was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Everything kind of just stopped.
Everything stopped. So Montez lands on Randy. Really high splash from the top rope on Randy's neck and chest. Randy looks hurt immediately. Montez goes to cover Randy. Randy kind of rolls into the corner. The referee is like talking, and he looks concerned. Like Randy is dying right there, and he needs to do something about it. Randy gets covered by Montez, I think to buy time or whatever. Randy goes to put his foot on the bottom rope to break the count, but he doesn't get his foot near the rope. Like, he misses the rope, and Dawkins kind of grabs Randy's foot to stop him from hitting the rope, but he's not on the rope.
No.
So it was weird. Dawkins kind of grabs Randy's foot and then just lets go immediately because he realizes, well, Randy's foot's not actually on the rope there. There's no reason to grab him because Montez has him 1, 2, 3. And the 3 was like 1, 2, 3. Okay.
We're live.
And then there's a lot of talking. Like, Dawkins is on his knee. Montez is like over Randy, just looking like he shot his best friend and he's in big trouble. Unless you're Dick Cheney, in which case you're fine. But most people would be in trouble.
Yeah. Dawkins comes in. He's got his mouth covered, and he's just talking. He's like,
Dawkins is in the ring.
Obvious.
He rolls in the ring, and he's like this, talking, but you can tell he's talking, and his mouth is covered, right? So he's like, there's talk, and the ref is kind of going back and talking.
Ref's going to his earpiece.
Ref's going to the earpiece.
Vince.
Riddle is there, and the Street Profits are standing there looking like they don't know what to do at all. Like, I don't know if they were supposed to win that match. It didn't seem like they were supposed to win that match because they seem confused.
They're not part of the championship match.
And
RK Bro is, so they're meant to enhance, like, build up RK Bro.
Right.
You'd think.
Right. RK Bro should have won that match. They're heading towards the tag team title match next week. So Street Profits have to win because Randy seems hurt. Street Profits are standing there looking confused after the match. They're kind of looking at each other and talking to each other like they're not even on TV anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they forgot that they were on TV and they had to act like the Street Profits, and they're just two guys looking like, oh, shit. This went terribly wrong. And then the referee kind of goes to his ear, and then he goes to the Street Profits. He says something to him, and then the Street Profits, they start putting their arms in the air and celebrating the win. The referee obviously, got a thing from the back saying, tell them to celebrate that they just won a match. This is supposed to be real here, guys. Let's keep the
divert
story
attention
going.
from the man in the ring,
Yeah.
writhing in pain still. Randy was on the ground the whole time.
Randy is down the whole time. Just like, hurt. And then at the end of this, Randy starts to get up to his feet. And he looks like they're going to shake hands or do something. And they cut away to, like, the next video package. Something was supposed to happen after the match. I think they were trying to fix it after the match. Maybe Randy does an RKO or whatever. But they just decided, nope, we're done. We're going home. Get backstage. Let's figure it out. This was not what was supposed to happen. And we're just going to keep on going. And hopefully Randy's not hurt. And Montez doesn't get punished too badly for this infraction. But god damn, man. This is what happens when you have guys in there that are just not that polished. Sometimes you're doing high-risk maneuvers and you're not the best at it. He gets tremendous air on this thing, but damn, he missed. And that miss is really unforgivable on a splash. You're not even flipping. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's not flipping. He's just jumping real high in the air and landing. He's got his eyes on his target the whole time. To miss that badly and potentially injure one of the biggest stars in the company 4 weeks away from WrestleMania, I don't want to say unforgivable, but it's not good, Montez.
It hurts your stock.
It hurts your stock. It hurts, your value in the company and the amount of trust that they could put into you. And I felt bad for Montez, honestly, because he didn't mean it, but he's probably going to get in trouble for it, even if Randy's fine. I think he's going to get in some big trouble. The fact that Randy didn't come up and go, stupid, he couldn't. He was hurt. He was hurt. But, when Randy Orton gets hurt, the matches end. It's over.
I broke my freaking collarbone.
Yeah, remember with Triple H? It was some match. Triple H on pay-per-view throws Randy
2 minutes into the match.
2 minutes. The match is just started. Triple H throws Randy over the top rope. Randy takes a flat back bump. He's supposed to grab the rope and hit the apron, but he misses the rope. So he just goes flying over the top, lands flat down. I mean, not quite flat. Down on the mat, completely botched it. You hear him go, I broke my fucking collarbone. And then Triple H's face just
He's yelling at him from the ring.
Yeah, he's like, get up, Randy.
We have 20 more minutes.
Yeah, he's like, come on. What the hell's the matter? Rob Van Dam broke my trachea. Triple H is looking at him like, God damn, this guy ain't the Undertaker. Taker would have got up, didn't sit up, and, what happened? I broke my collarbone. I'll be all right. Kept working. But Randy's like, match is over. I broke my collarbone. It's over. And tonight, same thing happened. Randy got hurt, and the match ended right away. I'm not blaming him. If I broke my collarbone, I'd want to go home and maybe never wrestle again.
But definitely, when the Street Profits are standing in the ring there before the ref talked to them, they definitely had a look on their face like, man, we are about to get chewed out. Oh, fuck, Vince is going to be so pissed.
And it's bad for Dawkins, too, because he's a team with Montez. Whatever bad shit happens to Montez happens to Dawkins, too, even if it's not his fault. Street Profits get, de-pushed, completely buried because of Montez. Dawkins gets it, too. Bianca will be fine. She's married to the guy. You know what I mean? She's got more stock, invested into Montez than Dawkins does. But, she's not going to be punished for her association with Montez. But Dawkins, she shouldn't, But neither should Dawkins. But because of his tag team, that's just how wrestling works sometimes. But I don't know if Montez gets punished here. But this was bad. You can't do this to a guy like Randy Orton. I may not be a big fan of Randy's, but I recognize he's a big star. And we're going into WrestleMania. And on a move like this, come on. It's live TV. You can't botch a finish that badly.
If that was the finish.
That's not the finish. They're supposed to lose. The finish was botched. No matter what the finish was supposed to be, it didn't get done tonight. The wrong team won. Wrong kid. I mean, that is not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to go out on TV, be told you're losing, and win. That's not how the show works, especially when RK Bros got a tag team title match next week, which is now up in the air. Who knows? But if they're not in it, you almost have to put the Street Profits in it because they won tonight, and you already did Seth and Kevin beating the Alpha Academy tonight. So if you have Seth and Kevin against the Alpha Academy next week for the titles, I don't know. You could do it. I mean, they could. They've done shit like that before, but it's not great, and they could add the Street Profits and keep it a triple threat if Randy's not able to go, which is possible.
But if
he looked hurt, he did not get up for a while.
The thing that affects that match, though, is that if Randy and Riddle aren't in that match, it changes the perception of how that match should go. If in that match now, if it's the Street Profits, and if Kevin and Seth don't win, it won't make as much sense. If Randy was in the match. Yeah,
if Randy was in the match,
you could explain, maybe RK Bro wins, or Alpha Academy takes advantage of an RKO and pins Seth Rollins. But now if the Street Profits are in the match, it's a lot harder to figure out a way where Seth and Kevin don't walk out with the belts.
I think they have to, no matter what. I think they have to be champions now. Why have they been inserted into this whole tag team title division if not to win the belts? This close to WrestleMania, they have a plan. They didn't make these guys a real tag team and have them wrestling tag team matches and set up a tag team title match 3 weeks out, right? They set up this tag team title match last week, and it's going down next week. So this is a 3-week build for Seth and Kevin. They haven't beat the tag team champs tonight. They're setting them up for something. They didn't do this for no reason. WrestleMania season, especially a month out, they start to make their plans for, the rest of the card. They have their plans for the main guys, Brock and Roman and Becky and Bianca and Charlotte and Ronda, like that's set in stone months ago. But some of these other matches, they're now starting to put together. You saw Finn Balor beat Damien Priest tonight. They realized, let's do something with Finn. U.S. title's not going anywhere. U.S. title's not doing anything. Let's do something there. Finn Balor beat Damien Priest, and they set up an angle for probably WrestleMania at this point, which kind of sucks, quite frankly. The match wasn't great. Finn beats Damien after a coup de grace to become new U.S. champion. I was really surprised this match was as unimpressive as it was, considering Finn and Damien Priest are two of my favorite wrestlers on this show. In the ring, they're both usually great, but tonight, it was just not that. Hopefully their next match will be better. You know they're going to wrestle another one, because as soon as Damien Priest lost, this was horrible, too, by the way. Like, this sucked. Like, okay, something got set up, things happened, but it was awful, because Finn beats Damien Priest in, a match. And then Damien Priest grabs the mic after the match, and he's like, oh, the people are the reason that you won. They carried you to that victory, and my whole title reign, they never got behind me and supported me. But I was successful despite the people. Except for tonight when the people caused you to lose somehow, even though the people were, like, not even into this match. I don't even know if they were supporting Finn. You were both baby faces going into it. But now not, right? Priest is obviously a heel. He gets mad, blames the people, and says he's going to win the U.S. title back. And the fans' admiration won't mean a damn thing for Finn Balor. And it's like, what?
He kept saying motivation, which was like an awkward phrasing of it. Like, the motivation they give you? It was weird.
He was obviously told to say that.
Yeah, it was definitely, stick to the script.
But it was just like, okay, you're both baby faces going into it. Finn beats you clean. And then afterwards you're like, it's the fans' fault. Like, what? What do you mean?
Felt like 3 weeks of feuding in 5 minutes.
And the whole snapping Damien Priest gimmick has just gone by the wayside, and now he hates the fans because they didn't support him.
Because he had a shitty snapping gimmick. The interest waned.
Yeah. And even then, he was supported as a babyface for the most part.
I thought he got big reactions.
As much as Finn was tonight, people weren't super behind Finn. And then Priest attacked Finn Balor, powerbombed him on the announce table. The announce table didn't break. Finn just kind of skidded across the table. Looked painful. So Priest loses the belt, but then attacks Finn and turns heel. I guess they're setting that up for WrestleMania, but jeez. That's not really something you're looking forward to.
It's had a bit of clumsiness in the match. Just
the timing was off.
A missed chemistry.
Yeah.
The clotheslines felt clunky. At one point Finn did a Hurricane Rana and Damien rolled through awkwardly. It was just, these guys are smoother, especially Finn.
Yeah.
And it just we didn't get that tonight.
Yeah, it's weird. These guys are usually much better, but their match tonight sucked. It wasn't the worst match on the card, but it definitely was not the best. Not the best. Edge ended the show. He was the main event tonight, cutting an in-ring promo, demanding somebody accept his challenge for WrestleMania. Just a maniac demanding anybody. He really didn't care who it was. Just somebody come out and say you'll wrestle me at WrestleMania. AJ Styles comes out, which is the guy I think we're all waiting for. This is the match for us. This is the match for the wrestling fans. This is the match for the old school wrestling fans. Edge versus AJ Styles. That's a legit dream match. You look at the WrestleMania card top to bottom, I think Ronda and Charlotte's pretty cool, but Edge and AJ Styles, to me, is my main event. That's my match that I'm looking forward to more than anything that they've announced so far. I mean, if Austin's coming back, okay. But so far, out of everything they've announced, Charlotte, Ronda, I'm hyped for that. Becky, Bianca, Miz and Logan versus the Mysterios, Brock and Roman, Zelena and Carmella against Sasha and Naomi. Nothing's really doing it for me, but Edge and AJ Styles, I'll take that. I'll watch that match all day. I'm into that. So that's good. But the way they went about it tonight, Edge says he wants the Bulldog AJ Styles, not the guy that was Omos's bitch. And then AJ attacks Edge, and they fight a bit, and AJ goes for the phenomenal forearm, but Edge ducks and kicks AJ Styles right in the balls. Edge going full heel here with a low blow on AJ Styles. I guess Edge is going to be the heel going into the match. He throws punches at AJ. I realized that Edge was the heel, not when the crowd reacted, but when the crowd sound effects started booing Edge, I realized, oh, the WWE is trying to tell me something here. Edge is the bad guy. Edge concertoed AJ Styles and looked like a maniac. And then he looked like he was all like, and then at one point he looked like he was gonna cry. And then he concertoed AJ again, and that's how Raw ended. It was weird, like the facial reactions, the overacting from Edge. Like, goddamn.
What's with always comparing AJ Styles to a dog? I remember when he came into WWE, they kept going, AJ Styles, he's a pit bull. He's a real pit bull. And now you're a bulldog. Is it because he's from Georgia?
Yeah.
The Georgia Bulldogs, like a college team?
They've referred to him as a bulldog before. I feel like he's had a bulldog logo on one of his shirts or something. Like, it's part of the gimmick. It's a very small part that I think the WWE tries to throw in there whenever they can.
Makes me think of an Outkast lyric. ATL Georgia, what we do for you. Bulldogging them hoes like them Georgetown Hoyas. Isn't that Outkast?
I get, yeah.
Is that,
I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Isn't it Rosa Parks? Or Skewed on the Barbie?
It's
Aquemini. It's off Aquemini.
Well, Skewed on the Barbie is on Aquemini. Oh.
So's Rosa Parks.
God damn.
I think it's Rosa Parks. I think it's like Big Boy's verse. You know, Georgia.
Well, you're... Damn it! You're like killing me now. Now it's like on the tip of my tongue, and I'm
pretty sure it's on Rosa Parks.
Which song it is? It might be Rosa Parks. I don't think so though.
Because I hear the beat. That
I don't know.
Like the little like percussion thing.
I don't think so.
Oh no. Shit.
No, that's not Rosa Parks. You are wrong. I knew it wasn't. Oh, no, wait, it is Rosa Parks. You bastard!
I got you on Outcast trivia. I never get you on Outcast trivia.
Well, good for you.
Right.
It is Rosa Parks.
The dirty South.
Many a day has passed. The night has gone by. All right.
Total chaos
good
for
job.
these players.
Good job. I'm impressed. You got me. All right. What the hell are we talking about? Mr. McMahon.
Bulldogs and stuff, yeah.
Mr. McMahon. So Edge and AJ Styles. It's just the Edge overacting stuff. You know, I don't love it. AJ Styles comes out. What's the deal with Edge? Like, they have no history. There's no, so Edge has to kick him in the balls and concerto him a couple times so you have some sort of heat between Edge and Edge. I don't know. I think the match will be great, but the build so far has not drawn me in.
The thing is like the one thing they have in common they can't reference, which is they both have a history with Christian.
Yeah.
But they can't really. I mean, maybe they can reference in a promo, like a WrestleMania promo. They say, "Yeah, Christian." They don't. They don't think they're like putting attention on AEW if they say Christian. So they might mention Christian, but
I don't think
he can't show up.
No, I don't think they do. I
it'd
think
be cool if AJ mentioned it. It'd be like, Christian, help me out or something. It'd be cool if they got like, personal.
I don't think they will though. I don't think they mentioned Christian because of the AEW factor, and I don't know what the sticking point here is in this story. Edge wants the best version of AJ Styles, so he's attacking him so he can get that version out of him. Like, that's what it seemed like, right? He's like, I want the Bulldog, I want the world champion AJ Styles, I don't want this kind of crappy version. And he concertos him once, and then he looks sad about it, but he does it again because he's trying to motivate AJ to bring his A game to Mania.
So he's gonna smash his head in.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a severe concussion so that you may not make it to WrestleMania because I really want you to bring your A game. Doesn't really make sense, but in the WWE world, I guess it does. But in the real world, it's like, I want you to be your best when you fight me in 4 weeks. I'm going to give you a severe concussion. And hopefully you'll make it to the match, Mr. McMahon in his office with Austin Theory talking about Pat McAfee and Vince appearing on his show. Pat McAfee is the SmackDown announcer, and he's got a podcast, and apparently he's made a lot of money doing it, and he's very popular. Every time I see him, he's just annoying to me, so I don't really get what his appeal is.
Every time I see a clip from his show, they're just like shouting and like yelling and like...
People like his energy. He fucking irritates the shit out of me, but hey, to each their own. I guess people like...
It's very Mojo Rawley kind of style.
Yeah.
Hype bro. Oh, yeah.
He just seems like a moron. You know, he just seems stupid when he's talking. Everything he says on SmackDown, he just comes off like an idiot. And he just sounds like a loudmouth dumbass, and I'm just not interested in what he says.
He was a punter. You know, like it's not like he was like a quarterback or like, you know, he tackled. He was a punter. He never saw any kind of action.
I don't care what he did in football. He's just annoying as a SmackDown commentator.
He's Goldberg.
He could be Tom Brady. I don't really care. If you suck at SmackDown announcing, I don't really need to hear you doing SmackDown announcing. And that's how I feel about Pat McAfee. He's a bad wrestler. I remember people were real excited about his match with Adam Cole. He was terrible. He was awful. His punches were some of the worst punches I've ever seen. You talk about exposing the business. The fact that Adam Cole sold for those punches is a goddamn embarrassment. And people all over the place are tripping over themselves to compliment this guy on how great of an athlete he was and what a great match. It was the drizzling shits. And if you don't think that, you need to check yourself, rewatch it, and fucking figure out who the hell you think was in that match. It was horrible. It was a horrible match. He's terrible. I don't get this guy at all. I really don't. I'd give him props if he was good, but he's bad. And people seem to love him. That's the weird thing about it. It's like, oh, what a great match. I was watching it. I was like, this is so bad. You're exposing the business with these punches, man. This is some of the worst punches I've ever seen.
Could you demonstrate
one?
Could you give me one of those punches? Oh, wow. Limp wrist.
Limp wrist, no connection. Like this. This is how he was punching him.
And like Adam Cole's going like...
Those are his punches. Oh, this is how you should punch somebody. I'll show you how to punch somebody.
You have a funker?
Yeah, you go right here. You get right here above the eyebrow. Hold on, I'm not getting the eye. There you go. Right here above the eyebrow here. You're going to get right above the eyebrow, and you're going to grind your fist right in there. And you're going to give him a And you do that enough in the same spot, he'll start bleeding.
Yeah. Terry Funkers.
But that didn't hurt. But it made an impact, and it looked good, right? I throw a better working punch than Pat McAfee, and I've never wrestled a match in my life. God. So apparently he's going to wrestle Vince at WrestleMania. Yeah. I don't know. Austin Theory's talking about Pat McAfee with Vince, and Vince not having done a sit-down interview in 20 years, and the last time he did it, he grabbed the guy by the shirt, and what if something happens here, and what if Pat McAfee jumps you, Mr. McMahon? I should be there to back you up. And Vince is like, it's not that kind of show, and he walks away. And then Theory picks up the pencil and says, but it could be. So obviously Vince is going to do a worked angle on Pat McAfee's podcast, and Austin Theory is going to get involved, and maybe it'll be Theory against McAfee at WrestleMania, because 76-year-old Vince McMahon versus McAfee, it just seems ridiculous. I think if it is Pat versus Vince at Mania, Austin Theory does the bulk of the wrestling, and Vince is just there.
I hope so.
I don't think Vince actually wrestles in this match. There'll be a lot of interference and stuff like that. That's what I've heard, is that it's just going to be a cavalcade of people getting into this match, and it won't really be Vince versus Pat McAfee one-on-one, because if it is, it may be the worst match in WrestleMania history. And that's saying a lot.
Although it would be just so on point for WWE. Like they have Austin Theory and all these promos and all this stuff about how, Vince McMahon has him picked out to be a star. And then, like, when it's time for WrestleMania, he's, like, not really involved in it. It's Vince who gets the match. It's actually Vince who they're building up the whole time.
As they should. Yeah. I'd much rather watch Vince than most people on this roster. But in the ring, good God almighty.
It's just great, they have all these promos and all these things. You think, oh, I guess they're building Austin Theory up for something. Like, no.
I hope Vince McMahon leaves Pat McAfee's face a bloody mess of teeth and snot and blood, and then takes a selfie and sends it to his mom.
Yeah.
Like he threatened to do to Austin Theory. I hope Vince actually does that to Pat McAfee.
I mean, if they do have like an actual match where one guy pins the other guy, I kind of hope Vince wins.
Oh, for sure I hope Vince wins. He better win.
Because, like, I think the fans would want Vince to win. If they're watching a match where Vince is in it. Like, if you're booing Vince McMahon in a match in this day and age.
Against a guy half his age? Like, what's wrong with you? If you're cheering for Pat McAfee and you want Vince to lose, Vince is an old man. Like, what is the matter with you? You got to cheer for Vince. I'm Team Vince all day, every day.
Yeah, like...
But I hope the match doesn't happen. It's stupid.
Yeah. At the very least, though, when it happens, at least I'll be, like, slightly invested because I'll be like, oh, come on, Vince, you know, like... Not like in an actual match kind of way, just like, I hope the result is the one I want. Like, it'll have a bit of... intrigue for me.
I hope Vince like just hits him for real and McAfee doesn't know what to do.
Oh, I hope he hits him in the head with a chair or something.
I
Like
hope he
Vince
hurts
just
him.
like brutalizes him.
I want blood. I want McAfee to bleed if this match happens.
And like Vince loses it. He's like, "Come on, you son of a bitch!" Like
Yeah.
he's like really like
the hard way too.
Yeah, he's just shooting on him.
Let's go.
Potatoes.
So Vince and Austin Theory are gonna go talk to Pat McAfee on Thursday and probably set up some sort of match for WrestleMania, which is, you know, they're just pulling everybody out there. Vince, possibly Shawn, possibly Austin, you know, whoever they can get, they're gonna throw on this show. I'm surprised Taker's not working a match. He's gonna be inducted in the Hall of Fame, but honestly, if he throws a choke slam at somebody at Mania, do not be surprised. Speaking of Mania, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio cut an awkward-ass promo about The Miz and how he attacked them last week when they answered the challenge and they're bad guys and WrestleMania, and then Dominic says something and it was just awful. It was horrible. And then Miz came out and it somehow got worse because he just kind of kept going on and on about Logan Paul and how Logan Paul's better than the fans in attendance tonight, and they're going to beat the Mysterios at WrestleMania, and they're big stars, and Logan Paul knows that The Miz is a star, so he's with him because they're awesome, and like just over and over, just hammering the same shit home. God, eating time. Horrible stuff from The Miz. And then he introduced Shelton and Cedric to have a match with the Mysterios, and then Miz got involved in the finish. He pulled Dominic's leg. Ray chased Miz, and Dominic got distracted. Shelton rolled up Dominic. It was really an insult to my intelligence as a wrestling fan to see Dominic Mysterio get any kind of offense on Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin is a grown man, a legit amateur heavyweight wrestler. This guy could turn Dominic Mysterio into a pretzel in a matter of seconds. The fact that Dominic Mysterio has to get offense over on Shelton, the fact that Shelton has to take this bullshit from Dominic Mysterio is an embarrassment. Seeing Dominic Mysterio have any kind of success against Shelton Benjamin tonight is a joke. Thank God Shelton pinned him, but Dominic Mysterio, again, exposes how fake wrestling is. When you see a guy like that on the show, you're like, come on. You know, like, he ruins everything. You see him and you're like, this guy's so not believable. His father's, like, much shorter than him, but the way he works, it's believable. Everything Dominic does is like, come on, man.
The slow,
sloppy, with no muscle and no power and no anything behind
and his face when he cuts promos is just this like weird.
He's horrible.
Awkward. He's just there, you know.
Can WWE hire Nick Gage to wrestle this guy?
Oh my God.
I just want to see Dominic Mysterio cut open with a fucking pizza.
Yeah, they're
cutter.
not going to do that on...
All right, well, fucking fire him and send him to the Indies. Let's Dominic Mysterio. Let's see him pay his dues. But he wouldn't, because if the WWE released Dominic Mysterio tomorrow, he would quit and work on his rap career or whatever the fuck else he's doing.
Does he have one?
Probably. He's that type of douchebag who's got a rap career. He's like Tom Hanks' son, you know? He's one of those dickheads. Just like fucking his dad made money, so he's buying studio time because he thinks he's going to be a successful rapper. Like fucking Leo Rush. He's like, oh, my rap career is taking off. No, it fucking isn't.
So is R-Truth's rap career.
Yeah, all these guys that are like rapping. It's like, I'm not saying Dominic is a rapper, but I'm just saying he probably would be. I'm not saying it's bad to rap, but like a lot of people shouldn't rap. There's a lot of people that rap that are very good at it, and then a lot of people that rap are just really bad at it. I'd say most people that
And
rap,
usually the ones who are really bad at it are the ones who do it as like a hobby. Like
and
the
they're
celebrities
the worst.
rapping.
Yeah, they're the worst. People, I'd say most people that rap shouldn't. But then there's a lot of people that, very much should. Anyways, Dominic Mysterio sucks. Carmella and Zelena Vega, speaking of sucking, Zelena talks about Carmella's reality show that she has with Corey Graves and says, all you do on that show is talk about sex, Carmella. And then Zelena accepts Naomi and Sasha's challenge for WrestleMania for the tag team titles. And Carmella says that when she wins, she's going to bring her fiancé out for a celebration. And she says, if you think all we do is talk about sex, watch how we celebrate at WrestleMania. And I was like, are we talking about a live sex celebration between Carmella and Corey Graves at WrestleMania? Turn your stomach. I got excited, brother. A live sex celebration. Haven't seen that in years. Carmella and Corey Graves. Sweaty, oily, tattoos, bronzed up, bronzered, fucking greasy ass. WrestleMania, 100,000 people sex party. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that was, but Carmella's like, if you think all we do is talk about sex, wait till you see how we celebrate at WrestleMania. I'm like, what do you mean? You're going to bring him out, and what are you going to do? And then Corey Graves is on commentary, didn't even, he's like, hey, coming up next, we got Street Profits. He doesn't even mention that his fiance just said, like, I'm going to fuck Corey Graves at WrestleMania. It's like, what do you mean? What? If you think all we do is talk about sex, honey, wait till you see what we do at WrestleMania. Like,
also sounds like a bit like overcompensating.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe they want to do pornos when they're done wrestling. Maybe they do pornos right now and they're exhibitionists.
I don't know. I think if WWE doesn't allow you to have a Twitch, they're not going to let you have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's too bad. Why not? They should let them do whatever they want, including Carmella and Corey Graves having sex at WrestleMania.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah. What the hell was that?
Anna?
I couldn't believe that she said that. If you think all we do is talk about sex, wait till you see what we do at WrestleMania. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, what's that going to be?
I mean, the WWE, Edge and Lita, they did a live sex celebration, so, anything's possible.
Yeah, it was a different time.
It's a different time. But, I mean, what are they...
That was, what, 2006?
Okay, but what the fuck are they teasing here?
I have no idea. Like,
what the fuck?
My guess is... If they even follow up on this, because, they might not, Carmella storylines, they'll probably have some, like, backstage promo in, like, a hotel room kind of thing that'll get interrupted by somebody. Maybe? But who knows? They probably won't follow up with this, though.
I hope not, because it could go real weird. But I also kind of hope that they do, just to see how weird it goes. Obama. What?
You say Obama?
Obama.
Obama.
No, I said Obas. But I meant Omas.
Oh, yeah.
Obas smacked.
I wish Obama was on Raw.
T-Mar. No, Omas squashed T-Bar tonight. Omas attacked T-Bar before the match started because he's a bad guy, and then he squashed him real quick. T-Bar still around. It's good for him. Here to do jobs for Omash. Omash and Thrasher, the new headbangers. They need to find a gigantic guy that looks like Omaz and call him
Thrasher.
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 Omash and Thrasher.
The big headbangers.
And they're the giant headbangers. I'd like that. I would appreciate that.
I don't think they'd come out to banging out to Marilyn Manson music, though.
It'd be fun. It'd be a fun thing. Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan beat Becky Lynch, Nikki Ash, and Doudrop. This was actually cool. Like, the match wasn't great, whatever. But Bianca hit Becky in her belly a bunch of times with the hair. And Becky's stomach was like a mess. I don't know if I could get a picture of this here for you, but it was insane how, like, because Bianca was like, wah, whipping Becky a bunch of times in the belly with the hair thing, the ponytail extension. And Becky's stomach was cut up for real. Like, you can't fake that.
It looked like she got hit with the kendo stick.
Yeah, in her stomach.
Like, that's what that looked like when someone gets hit with the kendo stick and they're all welted up. But it was just, a hair extension.
It was pretty cool.
It was interesting.
It was really cool. I think I can get a picture of Becky here for you. Yeah. There's Becky tonight. Look at that. Look at those. That's from the hair. That's from the hair. Look at that.
That one on the rib there.
Right there. Look at that. She took some nasty whips from Bianca's hair, and she bailed on the match. She left the 6-woman tag, or as Doudrop said in her pre-match promo, sex-woman tag. Because with her Scottish accent, it sounds like she said sex-woman tag, and I was like, sex-woman tag?
What kind of match is this?
I haven't seen that kind of match since the Attitude Era, brother. A sex-woman tag. Anyway, so Becky got lumped up pretty good here by Bianca's hair. This was awesome. This was probably the most impactful move that we saw all night. And I liked Becky's response to that. I think I have it here too. Becky, going hard on Twitter, responding, which I really liked. So Becky Lynch got a WrestleMania preview tonight on WWE Raw, courtesy of Bianca Belair. Okay, they show this. And then Becky responds, "This is not a WrestleMania preview. This is the barbaric use of an illegal weapon. At WrestleMania, I was going to beat you, but now I will beat the shit out of you and then beat you."
It's very AEW.
Beat the shit out of you.
It's a very AEW promo.
Whoa! On Twitter, brother. They're saying shit on Twitter now. So,
shit.
Yeah, I like that response from Becky. It feels, real, even though it's a worked angle. But, yeah, Becky taking that stuff from Bianca pretty good. Bianca, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan get the win over Becky, Nikki Ash, and Doudrop. Nikki Ash took the KOD from Bianca for the 1-2-3 there. Not the best match, but, Becky leaving the match in pain and those cuts on her belly. Impressive. Also, Rhea Ripley was rough as hell in this match.
Mm-hmm.
She looked like she had a chip on her shoulder. She was tossing Becky Lynch around and just real rough with Becky. Rougher than most people are with Becky. Rhea was just in a don't give a fuck type of mood tonight, and I loved it. Rhea Ripley is getting lost in the shuffle right now in the women's division, and I think she was trying to make sure that people remembered her because she looked really good in this match. Of everybody in this match, the Bianca hair whip was cool, but Rhea Ripley looked like $1 million, just kind of tossing Becky around and looking like she should be a challenger for WrestleMania. I'm disappointed that it's not Bianca, Rhea, and Becky, that it's just Bianca, Becky one-on-one, because Rhea is a missed opportunity right now to be a big star in WWE. I don't know what's happening, but she's money.
Yeah, she's a great talent.
Great look. Looks big.
And it seemed
imposing.
like they were pulling the trigger on her. You know what my guess is that probably Triple H was probably her biggest champion. Maybe not as much anymore.
NXT, since the
she's
downfall,
a bit too jacked for Johnny Ace, my guess.
Ever since the downfall of Triple H, Rhea Ripley has not had a huge push.
Did she beat Charlotte Flair at Mania?
Yeah, a couple years ago. No. Charlotte beat her.
Charlotte beat her, but still, she was in a singles match for the NXT belt.
Last year,
it was prestige.
Last year at WrestleMania, Rhea beat Asuka, I believe, for the Raw Women's Championship.
Oh yeah, so that's crazy.
Beat Asuka last year at Mania. Bianca beat Sasha.
Yeah.
And then they all went to NXT and celebrated with Raquel Gonzalez, who was the NXT champion.
Yeah.
They had that whole moment, and it really felt like, at that time, Rhea and Bianca, they're next. Rhea came out of Mania last year, beating Asuka, Raw Women's Champion. Bianca, SmackDown Champion. It's okay, here we go. They're next up. Bianca has gone on that path. Rhea, not so much. And I wonder what's happened in the past year with Rhea Ripley, where she's gone from champion beating Asuka last year at Mania in a featured match to now
I mean,
possibly not booked or in that women's battle royal.
it's easy to say Triple H, but at the same time, it is the biggest shift in the creative direction that's happened in the last year in WWE is the diminished role and influence of Triple H.
Yeah.
And the increase of Pritchard and Laurinaitis.
Well, that's it. And, the influence of Triple H has definitely waned in the past year. And with Rhea Ripley seemingly also taking a backseat over the past year, it's hard not to make that correlation between the two.
Mm-hmm. And she feels like a Triple H project with the whole metal kind of vibe. And,
she dresses like a female Triple H.
Yeah, leather and... Triple H never had piercings, but,
No, but
probably thought they were cool.
It's like a, heavy metal type gimmick.
Biker.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know what's going on with Rhea. She looked great in the match tonight, but she's just, on a team with Liv Morgan as Bianca Belair's backup.
Mm-hmm.
Tommaso Ciampa had a match on Raw tonight, which is kind of cool. His theme song was dropped. It's now a new song. It's kind of a generic song. Not great. I really liked his old song. No one will survive. It was a good one. But it's not that anymore. He's got like a generic song, and Angelo wants to know our thoughts. I didn't really
notice it.
I didn't really notice it. It just kind of sounded like a generic song. I haven't got a good listen to it. I don't know if it's good or not, but I just thought that the No One Will Survive song was pretty cool and it fit Ciampa, and I don't know why they had to get rid of it. So a little disappointed that the Ciampa theme song got dropped, but I'm happy because he got a win on Raw, and this is where I want to see this guy. I want to see him on Raw. I don't want to see him in NXT, but this just felt like an NXT angle that's carrying over to Raw still with Ziggler and Rude. They showed Ziggler getting a win over Ciampa on NXT last week because Rude helped him. And Ciampa beats Rude after a roll-up tonight. Ziggler and Rude attack Ciampa after the match. And Ziggler says that tomorrow it'll be Ciampa and Braun Breaker versus Ziggler and Rude on NXT. Okay. I feel like Ciampa should just be on Raw and be doing things on Raw. But I don't think that this is what that is. This is just an NXT angle that we have to sit through on Raw for some reason. I guess they're trying to promote NXT somehow, but...
It feels like the person that really they want to benefit from all this is Braun Breaker.
He's not on Raw.
Yeah, he should have been on Raw. I would have liked to seen him do a little run-in or something, and let the fans be like, whoa, who's this guy?
I think it's too early to bring him in. I think when he makes his main roster debut, it's got to be a big deal. I don't think you bring him into NXT or to the main roster until you're ready to just make him a main roster guy. Like a little tease of Braun Breaker, I don't think you should do. I think Braun Breaker is such a star right now and is such a cool new thing that he should be the guy that you tune into NXT for. I want to see Braun Breaker. Well, there's only one place to watch him, and it's NXT. Because NXT has zero draws. There is nothing that is making you watch NXT. Nobody's tuning into NXT to watch Cameron Grimes or whoever the fuck. Now, maybe they're tuning into NXT to see Toxic Attraction. I could see that. But, it's that or Braun Breaker. And I think that you got to tune into NXT to see Braun Breaker.
So
I don't know if you've seen
that mystique.
That the red-haired girl there, Toxic Attraction, Gigi something.
Not Alan.
Dolan, I think.
Yeah.
She's posting all sorts of photos on the internet. I've been seeing them on Twitter all day.
Oh,
it's
have
weird.
you now?
And I was like, my God.
Racy.
I was like, I didn't know WWE.
Are they WWE pictures or are they?
No, I think that they're on her own. But I was like, I didn't know WWE allowed you to take pictures like this and put them out there. I mean, there's not that, but I was like, whoa. Who are you and what show are you on? Crazy. But that's their whole gimmick, They're like a sexy group. That's what people, Mandy Rose and...
what was it, Tina? The beautiful people.
Yeah.
It's like that.
But they're really
beautiful people.
They're no. I mean, they're going in. They're diving into this gimmick. The picture I saw, I was like, whoa, what the hell? It was just it was like a little shocking for a WWE wrestler to be posting this. I was like it wasn't showing everything, but it was showing more than a WWE wrestler is usually showing. I was like, whoa,
Okay.
are you allowed to do this? Is this Vince approved? I was a little bit, I was worried. I was like, she might be in trouble for this. Reggie and Dana Brooke beat Ozawa and Tamina because the 24/7 title is still a thing. Dana kissed Reggie after the match. I guess Dana wants to be more than friends with Reggie now. And then Tamina wants to be more than friends with Ozawa, and she kissed him.
That looks so, like, pained and awkward, that kiss between Tamina and Ozawa. They're like, all right, fine, we're doing this. Okay. And they just, like, press each other's, like, faces on each other and, like...
Yeah, it was weird.
There was no, like...
There's no chemistry.
Anything. No.
There's no chemistry with Dana and Reggie either. It seems awkward.
No.
It's awkward all around. The match was awkward. This whole thing is bad. The 24/7 title is far less interesting when R-Truth isn't involved. Tozawa, Tamina, Dana, Reggie. I don't want to see any of them. R-Truth is far more entertaining than any of these people.
Guess he's got some time off.
He's got his rap career.
It's burgeoning.
And Veer is coming. They did another Veer promo.
The Bally's Casino in Macon, Georgia.
He wishes. He wishes, believe me. Veer is coming. R-Truth rents out. No, I'm not going to say. I don't want to insult R-Truth. But,
is it true?
I think he's... No, I would guess that he's probably the type of rapper who would, like, rent out a club and then invite all his friends and perform. And
Free tickets.
No one's bought a ticket. He's just paid for it all.
And then there's a video on his Twitter of him performing to, like, a big crowd.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at R-Truth, big star.
But it cost him, like, $15,000, you know, to rent the club and just pay for everything. Which, some people do. And, I'm sure Dominic Mysterio will do that in a few more years when WWE decides to fire him.
Co-headlining bill with R-Truth.
He wishes. He wishes.
He's on R-Truth's rap level.
No, he's not on R-Truth's rap level. Dominic Mysterio sucks compared to R-Truth. R-Truth is Jay-Z compared to Dominic Mysterio. You're crazy for this one, Truth. Oh, boy. So that's Raw. That's what happened on Raw tonight. It was a weird show.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff happened, but not that much. And overall, it wasn't very good. All right. Shout out to Ray Cruz. What's up, Ray? Member of the team. Angelo Contagonis, member of the team. Be a member. If you're not a member, why are you not a member? Join.ringsidereport.net. Sign up, support the network, and you can call in. You can call us. Talk to us. Give us your thoughts on Raw or SmackDown or Dynamite. Angelo's been calling in on the Wednesday Night Dynamite show. Good to hear from Angelo on Wednesday nights. And I'll be back here Wednesday night after Dynamite. Dynamite this Wednesday in Jacksonville, Florida. Homecoming for AEW. And then they are in Orlando for Rampage on Friday. And then, of course, on Sunday, it is the AEW pay-per-view Revolution in Orlando. And usually we do post shows for all of the pay-per-views, but we won't be doing one for this one because we'll be at a WWE show. Oh, well.
It's just the facts of it.
Sometimes
counter-programming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking my son to his first ever WWE show. And, family first. So
big deal.
It's a big deal. So we're going there.
I remember my first show. Yeah. You remember your first show?
Oh, yeah, brother. I saw Sid Justice and Macho Man in a steel cage at the Montreal Forum. I'm old school. That was my first show. Sid Justice and the Macho Man.
And I saw Hulk Hogan lose clean to Jacques Rougeau.
I mean, I saw Macho,
you were there too.
And you saw Hogan. I mean, we both saw some pretty cool guys in our first wrestling shows. My son's going to see Roman Reigns.
I mean, he's the Hogan of the era.
Yeah, but he sucks compared to Macho Man,
Yeah.
Oh, God. Like, people aren't going to be talking
about Ronda Rousey.
In 30...
Charlotte Flair.
In, 30 years, people aren't going to be talking about Roman Reigns as, one of the greatest of all time. But people 30 years later are still talking about Macho Man,
Oh, yeah. Ooh, Macho Man forever. Macho Man will always live on.
Look at him. Look at this guy. He's beautiful. Ooh, yeah. Dig it! Uh-huh. Macho Man is...
What's the line? The space is the place. Was it something to something? The space is the place.
Oh, yeah.
Tower of Power?
Well, that's a different one.
No, higher. No, nothing higher than...
Time is the... Space is the place. Yeah, I don't know.
The beat goes on. The beat goes on. Tito Santana, compared to me, you're nothing but garbage. I can't do Macho. I can't do Macho. My Macho turns into Triple H.
Tito Santana, you're nothing to me but garbage. Yeah. You think you can mess with the Macho Man, Randy Savage?
Cream of the crop.
What kind of champagne is that, Macho Man? It doesn't matter. Nothing matters except the Intercontinental title. Yeah.
Elizabeth says go this way. I'm going that way.
Freak out. Freak out.
No more questions.
Oh, I love Macho Man. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Macho. We love you.
Yeah.
I'll be back here.
Old Bon Saint McGraw.
Where am I going to be? When am I back?
Wednesday.
Wednesday after the Dynamite. Okay? I'll be back here Wednesday after Dynamite to talk about AEW. We'll preview Revolution Wednesday night after Dynamite with Johnny. And then SmackDown's in Miami. The whole wrestling world's in Florida this week.
Dwayne country.
Yeah, I doubt it. SmackDown in Miami coming up on Friday. We'll be on after SmackDown as well. Yeah, so big week here on the Ringside Report Network. Back Wednesday night after Dynamite. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Ringside Report MMA. We've got a big weekend for MMA as well. UFC 272 coming up this weekend. Jorge Masvidal and Kobe Covington in the main event. It's a grudge match, 5 rounds in the welterweight division. Coming up Saturday night, we'll be doing the watch-along for that. Of course, watch-alongs for every UFC pay-per-view here on the Ringside Report Network. 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday night for UFC 272. So, yeah, my boy AJ is on the chat. AJ will be with me Thursday night for the UFC 272 preview, and then, of course, Saturday night for the watch-along. So, Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern after Dynamite. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Ringside Report MMA, the UFC 272 preview. Friday night after SmackDown with Johnny for Wrestling Uncensored. And then Saturday night with Freddie and AJ for the UFC 272 watch-along. Big week here on the Ringside Report Network. We are gearing up. We are getting ready. Thank you, Angelo, Super Chat leader tonight. Great show, guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Angelo. Always appreciate your support and all the members here on the Ringside Report Network. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless. See you later, guys.